Hello, everyone. Am I audible to all of you? Can you all hear me well? Hello. Hey, Pratibha. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Which part of the world are you all joining in from, and what is it right now? Is it a morning for you? Is it afternoon for you? How's everyone doing? Joining in from Philippines, South Africa, joining in from Nigeria. Very interesting. Hello, good morning from Cameroon. Would have been great if your name would have been there. Right now, it is showing some numbers. Hello, Samson from Qatar. Hello from Nigeria. Afternoon in Zimbabwe. Hello in Nigeria. Wow, very interesting. All over the world, almost we have everyone. Uh, Hello, great. So we'll begin in a couple of minutes. We are just waiting for a few more participants to join in. Very warm welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here in order to give you a nice brief about how your airline ticket prices are decided or how your stay prices are decided in case you're traveling, in case you're planning for travel. What's the science behind the pricing that goes behind is probably what we'll cover in today's class. And we'll try to understand how machine learning is heart of everything. Okay, so we have a very exciting session wherein I'll try to explain you like how a simple decision about what should be the price for a flight to go from point A to point B, how it is decided by machine learning algorithm. So very warm welcome, very excited. Hi to all of you. Um, in the chat, if you can just say hello to your friends here and just say where you from, that will be great. Till we wait for others to join in. My voice is echoing. Is it for everyone or is it not so clear? Um, is it fine for all of you? Is my voice okay? Okay, great. I was just checking if the correct mic is selected. All right. Okay. Great. So let's begin. Before we start, let's have some ground rules for this particular session. So this session is only on listen mode. So we'll be only having the access to the chat box. You'll not be having access to the mic. If you have any questions, you need to use the chat box. So let's make sure that you are using the chat box to keep the session interactive. So the session is only on the listen mode. Please use the chat box to make the session as much as interactive as possible. After the end of the class, after the end of this particular webinar, you will be getting the recording of this particular webinar. Also, you will be getting the presentation that I'm sharing. So whatever content that I use, whatever content we cover in the class, as well as whatever is the recording, it will be kind of shared with you on the registered email that you have used to sign in on this particular webinar. Okay, so in between, if you drop off and you want to know certain part, or if you want to go back and understand a certain piece of it, don't worry. The recording will be shared with all of you on the registered email that you have used to sign in on this particular session. At the end of the webinar, there will be a small feedback form that will be shared with all of you. So please fill in that because that will help us a lot in improving the quality of the session. So looking forward to your feedback. That really helps us become better in the quality of the deliverables that we give in this particular session. Okay, so just to reiterate, it is a listen only mode session. So you have to use chat box for asking any questions. Please try to keep the session more interactive. Be active in the chat box. If I'm asking something, try to respond. If you want to share some of your experience, please try to do that. The session recording will be shared with all of you at the end of the program on your registered email, and a small feedback form will be shared at the end of the webinar. Please fill it up. It helps us a lot in improving the qualities of this session. So with this, let me start off with my introduction. My name is Saurabh Kango. I'm currently working with Meesho. It's one of the fastest growing e-commerce website in India. It's into, it's into tier two retail. And I've been working here very recently. I've started working here very recently as a senior manager in data science and business analytics. Uh, Before to Meesho, I was working with this company called as LinkedIn. Are you all kind of using LinkedIn? Have you all used LinkedIn? Are you currently using LinkedIn? Yeah, so I was working with LinkedIn for about 3.5 years. And the best part was I was working in the jobs part of the LinkedIn. LinkedIn has two sections. The first section is towards the social media side. The second section is where the jobs happen, the job search happens. Uh, so I was part of the job search team. And therein, I got a lot of insights about how the domain of data science works, how the domain of data analytics works, what are the kind of opportunities that are there in the world of data science, machine learning. So I had a very good view over, what's trending in the market, what are the skill set that is required in the market. So definitely, I'll be sharing some insights as we go along in this particular session. Okay, so before to LinkedIn, I was working with Airbnb. So if there is anyone who is interested in working remote, it's one of the best companies to work for. It is still one of those companies which is offering remote work. So in case, you're looking for a remote job, definitely Airbnb could be one of those companies that you can target. And before to Airbnb, I was working with Walmart for about 4.5 years. And there my role was towards building data science models for the retail company. So I was involved heavily in sourcing, procurement, international trade, your supply chain, e-commerce, customer insights. So every part of retail I covered in that 4 years of my journey, wherein we would build some advanced machine learning models in order to know who's going to be our customer that we should be targeting. So that's been my journey, about 9+ years of experience in the domain of data science, worked with companies like LinkedIn, Airbnb, and Walmart. Um, with Great Learning, I've been associated with them for about 3+ years now, and have delivered more than 400 hours of educational guidance. So very excited here. I'm sure you are all also excited to know a bit of, what is this data science, what is this machine learning. So let's try and deep dive into this particular domain. Okay, so what are we going to do? We'll probably start with the introduction to the data science domain. We'll be looking into into how data is used for predicting the prices of the airlines, right? We'll have some question answers. So just in case if you have any questions you want to ask, what's a better platform than to ask here? So of course we'll spend some time in Q&A. Given that I've been also doing mentorship with Great Learning, I would love to share some experience with that. And then there is a beautiful program designed for all of you, which is in data science and business analytics, which we will cover at the very end. So this is what we have in agenda for today. Let's get started and understand about. First, I'll try to give you a brief about these two terms, like uh, what exactly is data science? What do we do in the world of data science? How does it enables us to, how does it enables companies to make decisions? So I'll spend some bit of a time first to explain you about data science, and then we'll understand like how it is applied in the travel industry. Give me 1 second. I will share screen. Um, are you all able to see some whiteboard where on your screens? Uh, okay, voice is a bit fast. Okay, I'll try to be a little slow. You can do transcript. So just in case if you go to the more section, you can do transcript and you can get the subtitles on. So just in case if that's the thing, you can utilize this. Okay, let's try and understand this. Let's say you are somebody who loves data, and because you love data, look, you're running a small ice cream store. Okay, you're running a very, very small ice cream store. And what you're doing is you're collecting the information about the temperature on that particular day, average temperature on that particular day, and you're collecting the number of units of ice cream sold. Okay, now what happens? At 10, the units of ice cream that was sold was 100. At 20, it was 200. At 30, it was 300. At 40, it was 400. If this pattern holds true, if this kind of a pattern holds true, can you guess at 45, how many units of ice cream will be sold? If this pattern holds true in future, based on the past data, what do you think would be the unit sold at 45 degrees Celsius? Very good. Can I consider it to be 450? Yeah. Now, if you know that 450 units of ice cream will be stored, will it help you plan your inventory better? Yeah. Will it help you assist in your inventory planning? Will it help you plan your human resource better? Because for, let's say, every 50 units of ice cream, you need one person. Will it help you plan your HR or human resource better? Will it help you plan your cash flows better? Right? Because you will have to go to the market and purchase all of this. So beforehand, if you know that 450 units of ice cream will be sold, I will probably plan my cash flows much better. Now, can I say that if you're relying on data to make a decision for a problem, for a business problem, is it a better approach? If you are using data to solve a particular problem, to solve a particular problem, if you are using data, does it help you solve it better? There's a business problem. In order to solve that particular business problem, if you leverage data, will it help you make better decisions? Yes. Do you agree with me? Like if you rely on data for making decision, does it help you make better decisions? Yes. Now, even before we start this particular journey, can I say that knowing the problem, understanding the business problem is the first and the most important step? Unless and until you understand the business problem, will you be able to think about the data that is required to solve that problem? If you are working in banking and there is, say, fraud that is going on, in that case, first you'll have to understand how fraud happens, isn't it? Even before you don't know the fraud, how would you know which data we have to use? So can I say before even we start solving a problem with the data, the first and the most important thing that we need to understand and learn is how to understand a business problem or how to understand a problem? Yes, agree. Are you with me on this point? Even before you touch the data, it is absolutely critical to learn about the problem. In order to understand the problem, can I say the approach that you can take is to ask the right questions, right? If you go to the doctor, does the doctor directly give you the medicine? Like if you go to him and he's like, okay, I saw you, this is your medicine. Does that happen? Whenever you visit a doctor, does he directly hand over the medicines to you? No. What does he do? What's the first thing that a doctor does whenever you visit him? Anyone? He probes. Can I say that he asks you a lot of questions? He tries to identify the problem, Aston, very good. And can I say that he is able to identify the problem by asking the right set of relevant questions? Yeah, he listens to your complaints, very good. In order to ask the right set of questions, can I say that you need to have the domain knowledge? Isn't it? If you are working in marketing, can I say you should know everything about marketing, how marketing works? If you are in operations, can I say you should know how operation works? If you are in sales, you should know how sales works. If you are in banking, you should know how banking industry works. If you are in healthcare, you should know how healthcare should work, right? So you can ask the right set of questions only if you have the domain knowledge, right? So this is the first and the most important thing, that for whatever roles or for whatever industry you want to aspire for, you need to understand that industry and that particular domain really well, because that helps you ask the right set of questions. And once you have the ability to ask the right set of questions, you can understand a business problem really well. Okay. Now then what we do is, once you have understood the business problem, we need to convert that business problem into the data problem, right? What we have seen is, compared to any other method of decision making, data is actually the best form of decision making, because it is not biased. It is not, you are not using your gut feeling. And because you are using data and information for making decision, you will be more correct than wrong. So we'll be using data to solve that particular problem. Okay. Step 3, once you have understood the data that you need to solve for that particular problem, the next step is to create a model. Okay. The next step here is to create a model. What is a model? Model is nothing but your mathematical equation, right? Once you understood the problem, you understood which data you need. Once you have got the data, you need to convert it into an equation, that particular data into an equation. For example, in this case, can I consider the equation to be y is equal to 10x? For this set of data points, can I consider this is a relevant equation? Yes. Are you with me? If you observe all of this data point, can I say the equation that fits all of this data point, the best equation that fits all of these data points is, can I say y is equal to 10x? And once you get this equation, now can you stimulate or predict whatever be the value for any temperature? If I ask you to do it for 20, you can tell me, oh, it will be 200. If I ask you for 25, you will easily tell me it will be 250. So can I say the next step in the process is to convert this data into the form of an equation, mathematical equation? Are you all following along till here? Understand the business problem, understand the data that is required to solve that problem. Once you get the data, convert it into a relevant equation. Okay. Now, in order to do all of this, can we do it on a pen and a paper? Let's say if you're dealing with millions of rows, is it possible to get this equation using a sheet of paper? Can you manually create that equation? Can you manually process such a large amount of information and come up with an equation? No, right? Here, the data is very small. That's why you are able to do it. But what if you have billions of rows? In that case, is it possible? No. So can I say that you will have to use technology? You will have to use some technology. Say, you will have to use some coding languages in order to do so, right? Python, absolutely yes. Python could be that language. So this whole process, wherein we understand the business problem, converts it into a data problem, create an equation with the help of technology to drive a decision, is nothing but data science. Are you getting the definition? Understand the business problem, convert it into data problem, uh, convert that data into an equation with the help of the technology, is nothing but your data science. Yeah. Is this making sense to all of you? What is data science? Okay. Now, the second important term that you would have overheard always, like everywhere nowadays, it has become very popular. It is called as machine learning. Right? Let's try to understand what exactly is machine learning. Okay, and we'll take the example of how fair prices are determined. Let's say you have a flight which is from NYC to London. Okay, there's a flight from, yes, the recording will be shared. Don't worry about it. There's a flight which is going from NYC to London. Now, what happens is we have a data which is days to depart. Okay. Then we have the information about number of seats. Number of seats. And then finally, we have something called as price. Okay. Let's say the days to depart is 5. The number of seats available is 100. Say the initial price that you have set is $1,000. Okay. Then what happens? The days to depart becomes 4. The number of seats reduces. The price becomes $1,200. Days to depart is 3. It becomes 60 seats. It becomes $1,400. Okay. Now, if it is 2, it becomes $40 and this becomes $1,600. Now, let's say you are on day 2. Okay. Let's say you are on day 2. On day 2, is it possible, you are on day 2, is it possible for you to predict how many seats will be available on day 1? Days to depart is 1. Again, based on the pattern that you are observing, can you tell me what it could be? Based on the past historic data that we are seeing. On day 1, you're on day 2, right? Day 1 has not occurred. Can I say that the number of seats available will be 20? Yeah. And the price could be $1,800. Right? Can we easily predict what will be the price? Can the companies easily rely on data to make a decision about this price that should be $1,800? Because they are able to make this prediction using the data that they have. Right? Now what happens is, let's assume that there is a shortage, or let's say there is some concert going on in London and people are kind of pretty much interested to go to that particular concert. In that case, the data points that we'll observe would be different, right? For example, days to go 5, number of seats 100, the price is 1,000. But now on 4, suddenly it becomes 60. So can I say the price should also, proportionally increase in that way? If lesser seats are available, you would try to maximize it. Yeah, so here it becomes say 1,500. 3, it is 30. It becomes 2,000. On 2, it is 15. Let's say it is 20. Yeah, this becomes 2,200. Okay, I'm just making some numbers. Okay, nothing here. Now the point here is, can I say that my equation that was giving me this prediction earlier on, should it need to change based on the new numbers that we are observing? The equation that we were using earlier on, which gave us the result as 20, do you think it will still give us 20? Do you think it should, if the days to depart is 1, should it predict the number as 20? No. And should he predict the price as 1,800? Absolutely no, because there is a high demand. And because there is a change in the demand, can I say my equation that was empowering that prediction should also change, should also update based on the new information that it is observing? Right? And it should happen real time automatically. Isn't it? It should not be like it is happening once the plane has departed. It should happen real time. The equation that was used to build the data science model can I say with the help of the new data should be updated automatically? That's what a need is, right? If the equation with the help of the new information that he's getting, if he updates itself automatically, can I consider this as machine learning? Isn't it? Machine is trying to learn on its own with the data that he is observing. Can I call it as now machine learning? Because the machine is trying to learn from the patterns that he's observing. He's not rigid with the older equation, right? If he relies on the older equation, we'll get a wrong result. In this case, what we want the machine to do is automatically update that equation, whatever equation that we have, automatically update that to the new data, and then make the prediction. That is called as machine learning. Are you getting the difference between the two? Data science is this. Getting to this equation is your data science. If you build a model, improvised model which kind of update itself with the new information, then it is your ML. So can I say the heart of the ML, the core of the ML is actually building this equation? Once you have got that starting equation correct, and if it keeps on updating itself with the new information, then only you will be able to make much better prediction from the company point of view, right? So in order to learn ML, can I say the first and the most important thing that we need to learn is to create this equation using data science as a domain. Once you learn data science, then you probably, just feed that model, make it dynamic. Once that model becomes dynamic, it is nothing but your ML. So is this point correct that the ML's model heart is your data science equation? Can we say so? The heart of AI, the heart of ML model is nothing but your data science model that you have created. Isn't it? Agree or not? Yeah, you all agree? Yes. Okay, so this is your ML. This is your data science and this is your ML. Okay. Now, in this case, I'm just feeding the number of seats. Now, can we make our equation with even more data points? Can I give him the customer visits per visit on the website? In this model, can I feed more data? Can we add more data points now to make it even more accurate, the prediction to be even more accurate, right? Can I check the seasonality, right? What if it is a season? People tend to travel in that particular season. Can we add a seasonality? Yes. Can we add the historic? Can we add competition data? Do you think if it is the only competitor, if it's the only airline there, do you really need to even worry about it? If it's a monopoly, do you think you need to do all of this? No, because if there is no competition and there is a demand, probably you can charge even higher rather than charging $1,800. You can even charge higher because you are also analyzing if there are any competition and what is their prices. If the competition has a lower price, then probably you'll have to adjust the price. If the season is not there, probably you'll have to lower the price. If it is a high demand season, then you'll have to increase the price. Can the machine do it all of it on its own by looking at the past data? Can you understand all of this nuances from the past data and the competition data that we provide to him? Absolutely, yes. Okay, so if we provide more data, if we give him the customer historic purchases, right? If he's a frequent traveler, can we provide him with a better price? If we provide him with, uh, any alternate, for example, to go from New York to London, only flight is an option. But if you were to go to city A to city B, there could be some alternate option. It could be train, it could be bus. So can I say you can also look at the alternatives available in order to make that price prediction? Okay, so with the help of the data, with the help of a few more data points, the companies try to understand what could be the best price that we should be having for anything that you book during your holiday season. Okay, so is the basic outline clear to all of you? Like what is data science, what is machine learning, and how it operates? Yep. Okay. Now, can I consider pricing to be the most important decision that the companies needs to take? Isn't it? If your pricing is not right, if you're not pricing it correctly, the companies could suffer a lot of losses, right? You're selling something at a lower price when there is a demand for the higher price. Isn't that going to lead to potential revenue losses? So for any organization that you work for, getting the pricing correct is the most important decision that they need to take, right? Now, I'm sure everyone would have observed that if you're looking for a plane ticket and you come back later, suddenly you see that the price has increased. Has it happened to you? Like you were trying to book a certain tickets and you just went for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe for a day, and you come back, the prices have jacked up, it has increased. Can we consider the number of people searching that route as also one of the most important data point? Forget about the booking. We'll also look at the past booking, but can I also look at the number of people searching that particular route as a data point to make that prediction? Yes. Has it happened on Uber? For example, I'm not very sure if you have used Uber. Doesn't Uber do the same thing? Based on the distance, based on the customer need, based on the number of cabs available, it tries to predict a correct price, like what would be the fair price, right? And is there a person who's sitting and deciding the price of a particular ride, or do you think machine is doing it based on different scenarios that it comes across? Who's doing that pricing? Like say if you try to book Uber, is there a person sitting in Uber's head office and be like, okay, for you to go from point A to point B, I think this is the right price? No. Is it manually possible to do? No. You will have to rely on the machine. And can I say machine is continuously getting the data about the demand in that particular locality, the traffic, the weather? Can I say all of this factor combines and then it decides the price? Okay, this should be the price which is fair for even the person and the rider. Yes. So this is where the world is, right? Especially in the pricing, there are a lot of machine learning algorithms. There are a lot of algorithm that goes in behind, and that is what makes them even more profitable. That is what makes them separate from their competition. I'm not very sure about Amazon. Have you all, anyone used Amazon here? Amazon to purchase something? Or if you go to Amazon, have you seen that the prices actually keeps on changing? Even for a product, it is not a static pricing. Like today, if you see the price, it could be 10. If tomorrow you see the price, it could be 11. Forget about that. In morning, the price could be 12. In afternoon, it could be 15. In midnight, it could be 8, 9. Does that happen? Yeah, because what it is trying to do is it is trying to gauge the traffic that is coming on that particular product page. And based on that and the supply, if you have a low supply, he'll try to sell it at the maximum price. If the supply is high, he will try to sell it at a discount. So even in the retail sector, we are using this dynamic pricing, which is keep on changing, which is getting updated with the new information that it is getting based on the equation that is created by the model. That is where the ML model is used for pricing. Okay. Now, I'm sure anyone who has got some bit of economics background, you would have seen this demand and supply curve, right? If the demand increases, if the price increases, can I say the demand decreases? Let's say if you have an iPhone, the iPhone prices go up because of tariffs. Can I say the demand will decrease? Yeah. If you increase the price, the demand decreases. If you decrease the price, if you give a discount on a product which is very popular, what will happen to the demand? Let's say you get 50% off on iPhone. What will happen to the demand of the iPhone? Will it increase or decrease? It will definitely go up, right? Because suddenly, if there is a 50% off on iPhone, people will jump on to buy it. Now, the problem here is, can I say it will take us forever to know that optimum point where the revenue is also the maximum and the price is also the maximum? Isn't it? Like for a company to know what is that equilibrium, they'll have to do a lot of experimentation. They'll have to increase the price, see the demand. They'll have to decrease the price, see the demand. Isn't it? will they be able to know what is that optimum place where we are getting the maximum demand and the maximum price, right? For example, in this case, I want to know this 0.3, which is the point of equilibrium, where there is the highest demand and the price is also the best, isn't it? Now, in order to do this, if you rely on our classical models, if you rely on some classical theories, can I say it will take a lot of time for companies to come up with the right price of a particular product? Yeah, MC is equal to MR, very nice. If you rely on this kind of model, yes, these are good models, but the problem is, how do you know what is that perfect price? You do not know that particular which is the perfect price. So can I do an experimentation, check demand at different prices, and then fixed on where I see the maximum demand? On Amazon, I'll try to give a discount, see what is the demand. I'll increase the price and then I'll see the demand. If the price is, even with the increase in the price, the demand is not changing, can I say I'll try to sell it at a higher price? If there is a product which is very popular, everyone wants to buy it. Even if I increase the price and I'm not seeing a lot of decrease in the demand, can I consider that I'll find the equilibrium? So can I ask the machine to find out that equilibrium? Can I ask the machine to quickly change from one price to another price and see the demand? And if he finds the demand to be the maximum, can we fix that price for that particular period of time? Isn't it? Now you're not looking only into one data point. You're not only looking into few data points. You're looking into thousands of data points in order to determine what that price should be. And you're not doing it manually. You're making machine to do it. Can I say you will be able to make much more revenue compared to your static models? Will it help company increase their revenues? Yeah. This particular process is called as dynamic pricing. Like depending upon the demand that they are observing, you will see that the prices are changing. Any example where you have seen this dynamic pricing playing around you? Pretty sure it's almost everywhere now. Like nowadays, you will not find that for a product X, there is a product price X. It could be price X minus 20, it could be X plus 20. Uber, exactly. Uber is the best example where this dynamic pricing comes into picture. So based on thousands and millions of data points, whatever Uber has, it tries to find out the best price where the price is the maximum and the demand lost is minimum. And once he finds that, he increases the price. So for example, early in the morning, say 5 a.m. in the morning, if you try to book the Uber, what do you think? The price will be lower or higher? There are many cabs available, but not many takers. So in that case, price will be high, H or low. It will be high or low. It will be lower. And say 7 p.m. on a Saturday night, if you're trying to book a Uber where the demand is at peak, supply is very low, in that case, what will happen? The prices will be higher, right? So if Uber would have gone with say per kilometer charge, per mile charge, do you think he would have been able to capitalize on the surge in the demand? Will he be able to get maximum revenue out if he would have gone with fixed pricing? No, right? He wouldn't have been able to. Now, in order to predict this price, can he rely on a lot of data points like temperature, demand, number of drivers available, number of cabs available, number of people opening the app, number of people logged in, number of people searching that particular route? Using all of this data real time, can Uber come up with one right price, which is maximum of your price, like the maximum price that he should be charging? Because at the end of the day, he has to charge maximum price, because if he charge maximum price, they make more money. Okay, so this is the dynamic world of machine learning, wherein this kind of work. So, for example, in the airline example, if you were to predict the prices of the airline, can we look at the supply first? Can we feed him with the data of number of seats available, number of rooms available? Yeah. Can we look at what is the cost? What is the bare minimum cost? Because you don't want to go below that. That is a rule that you'll have to tell him. To fly from New York to Sydney, it takes, the break-even cost is say $500. Do you think the model should bring the price below $500? If the cost to serve is $500, do you think this price should go below $500? The model should tell us that, okay, for the maximum demand, let's put the price as 450. No. So can I say we'll have to feed in with the cost to serve? What is the actual cost to serve to going from point A to point B? Yeah. Can I say we'll have to look at the weather forecast? If the weather, for example, if you're booking Uber, can I say weather will play a very important role? If it's for example, in India, we have something like a monsoon season. It's very difficult to travel in monsoon season. So do you see that the prices of the airlines are low? The prices of your hotels are low, prices of Ubers are low. Yeah. So we consider this as a data point to know the supply. Right. So first we look at the supply side. Then we look at the demand side. How many bookings have been made? How many visits have been made? How many unique searches has been made? Forget about visit. If the person is searching on Google, I'll try to know, okay, is this a popular route? If this is a popular route, probably I'll have to increase the prices. I'll have to look at the external event. Can I say I'll have to keep a track of, oh, is there a concert going on in London? Is it a new, new feature that is, or a new event that is going on in a particular location? Very recently in India, there was this band called as Coldplay. They came to India, and it was so popular that the ticket prices people were not able to get. The tickets they were not able to get, but because it was announced that on that particular day, the concert will be there. All the hotel prices in Mumbai went up. Right, nothing changed. The only thing that changed was this concert, because they anticipated that more people will be coming, and because more demand will be there, they try to maximize by increasing the prices. So we look at the supply, we look at the demand. Can we also look at the customer attributes? Should we also look at the customer attributes? His age, demographic, location, income, gender, number of visits, right? Can we also use the customer device data? Is he using an iPhone? Is he using Android? Can that be also be a factor in deciding the price that you show to the customer? Correct? And then we look into the competition price. Okay, all of this is fine, but what if the competition is giving you a lower price? The person will definitely go into the competition price. So we'll also ask this machine learning model to consider the competition price. It should not be way beyond the competition price so that you lose all your business to the competition. And finally, we also need to provide him with the price of the alternatives. If you're putting a price of an airline ticket to be $1,000, when it costs only $50 to travel conveniently in a train, that's a wrong pricing that we would end up doing, right? So if we also give him this information, he will create a very robust model. If we feed this particular data real time, it will create a very robust model wherein accurately at every period of the time, at every instance of the time, he's able to tell us the exact price of that particular property or the airline or the Uber. Okay. So again, how does this process works? It looks at the historical price points and demand on a particular route. Then it tries to identify the dependent function. That demand is a function of which variables? Is it the function of supply? Is it the function of events? Is it a function of customer? Is it a function of number of searches made? So it will try to figure out what are the variables that influences the demand. Then it converts that into an equation. So that is nothing but your maths processes or the model. So you create that particular model, and that model keeps on updating with the new information. And this is how these models are created. Okay, so at the heart of it, what you need to do is you need to create an equation. This equation, should it be static or dynamic? What do you think? The equation that you are creating for price prediction, should it be static or should it be dynamic? It should be dynamic. If it is dynamic, can I say it should learn with the new information that it is getting? If it is static, even with the change in the demand, you will be still selling it at the same price. So it should not be static, right? It should be dynamic. It should be in such a way with the new information that we are getting, it should automatically update the prices, increase or decrease based on the information that we are receiving. So it should be dynamic. Okay. And how do we do this? Like, what's the the whole process. The first part in the process is the data collection, right? We'll have to collect all this data. This is the most difficult part. We'll look into the transaction data. We'll look into marketing data. What if some marketing campaigns are going on? So we'll have to look into the marketing data. We'll have to look at the price data. We'll have to look at the competition data. We'll have to look at the weather data, route data, etc., in order to get the correct information that we require for this particular model. After that, do you think the data is, can I say we'll have to understand which data points are having the maximum impact? Is gender having the impact? Does, if a female searches for a route, if a male searches for the route, do they have a different behavior in the bookings? So we'll have to look into that. We'll have to look at the customer information. We'll have to look at the demand. We'll have to do the cost analysis. So we'll have to do some pre-processing of the data in order to understand which variables are working. Once you get to know which variables are working, you need to create your customer segments. Which segments, which prices will you be seeing? Tell me one thing. Is the price that you see on Amazon, is it the same for everyone? If you are logged in and you're seeing the price, is it the same for person Y as well? Some other person? No. If you are a frequent customer, probably the price will be different. If you are a new customer, can I say the price could be different? If you want, the objective is to make him try your services, probably you'll try to give him the best price possible. Why? Because you know that if he converts, if he purchases, next time he will come and purchase from me. So a new customer may see a different price. A customer who is a frequent customer may see a different price. And can I say this can happen if we divide our customer based on certain attributes? If we create a cluster of customers or segments of customers based on certain attributes, probably recency, frequency, and monetary, we can use these three terms. How recent did the customer make the purchase? How frequent does he make the purchase? What is the total spend that he has done with us? Basis that, can we create a group of customers and we see a price differently for them? Yes. Okay, so we do customer segmentation. The maths that is used there, the equation that is used there, just remember, is called as a K-mean equation. After that, we do the regression analysis to find out, for point X, what should be the value, for point X1, what should be the value, point X2, what should be the value. So we do some regression analysis on top of it. And then finally, we apply a logistic regression to predict whether the customer will book or not. And if you know that he's going to book, you will not give him the offer. If you think that he's going to book, you will give some discount. So this is how this whole process works. Isn't this a very, very interesting world of data, wherein a simplest thing like this is kind of empowered by so many data points working simultaneously real time in order to give that best price possible, all through this data science algorithm. Okay, so it's a pretty interesting field, and it can be applied anywhere, right? We just took the example of Uber. It can be applied on retail. It can be applied on banking. It can be applied on any vertical that you can think about. Okay, so that's what I had to cover. Any questions anyone has? Okay, that's interesting. All right. So I have Pratibha with me, and she will explain how do you learn whatever we just saw. Right now, your next question should have been like, okay, this is awesome. The application is awesome. Now, how do we actually learn it? So she's going to give us a proper walkthrough about how you could learn all of this that we learned today. Yes, the recording will be shared, and it will come to your email. So, hey, Pratibha, you can, I guess, take over from here.
Hi, Saurabh. Good afternoon. First of all, thanks a lot for the enlightening session. It was fantastic. I was there in the initial part. I missed a little bit in between, but yes, again, matched up to the last 15 minutes. Also, I think the learners, I can see the chat box and how well they have been interacting. So great session there, Saurabh. I think just a kind request, Saurabh, if we can continue, sharing the screen the same way, I'll just
Sure,
take a little bit of your assistance with that, and we'll
sure.
take the learners ahead from here.
Just give me 1 second.
Perfect. So before we start, good afternoon, people. Good afternoon, professionals. I'm from India. My name is Paribrita, and I'm program advisor at Great Learning India here. I particularly take care of the data science and business analytics postgraduate course. It's being offered by McCombs, University of Texas at Austin, right? So just like Saurabh gave you an input and understanding and analysis of how things are done when we speak about analyzing the data, the demand versus the supply, and how it changes things, what we see in various screens. It could be Amazon, it could be Uber, or any other websites out there which have a user interface which we often tend to use every single day or every single month approximately. I'm just going to give you the idea of what the program has that we offer and how the program can help you reach levels professionally and educationally in terms of the same, right? So let's start with the overview. I think it's great to have all of you on board, and I think I'd start with the duration of the course. It's a 7 months course altogether. It's a 7 months postgraduate course wherein we expect you to give a minimum of 8 to 10 hours in a week, right? Let's say consider Sunday to Saturday. We all are from different time zones. The university is catering to 173 geographies as we speak. So naturally, we are not expecting people to be available at a certain time of the day, not at all. But if you can effectively manage those 8 to 10 quick hours out of your entire week of 7 days, I think that's a good to go. That makes you eligible for the time commitment parameter the university has, right? Now, speaking about the lectures, the mode of lectures, it's recorded video lectures and interactive mentored learning. So, Monday to Friday, we keep the recorded lectures so that it's self paced. You can finish off your work, reach your home, and then take up the sessions, or possibly do it in the morning hours before your work. And in the weekends, you get to have a face to face lecture like you had with Saurabh just now, right? So that you can ask your questions, raise your hand, clarify your questions, and take it ahead from here. Perfect. We'd go to the third pointer, that's the hands on projects. So I think a lot of you might have a question that, okay, it's data science. So how practical is it, Paribrita? Can you tell me what is the level of practical hands on experience, practical hands on exposure that we get? So I'll give you the numbers here to make it more interesting, okay? It's 30 case studies as of now, the current curriculum that we are offering, and it has 7+ projects, and these are all going to be hands-on projects from different industries, wherein you get an opportunity to learn, okay, how can data science be useful in IT, how it is in healthcare, how it is in human resource, etc. I think so far as an overview this is good. We'll go to the next slide. I think I already have a question. Akram, just to give you an idea, yes, you will be share the teachers' profiles. We'll be using the word mentors here. Once you fill up an application or once you make an inquiry towards the program, you will be able to connect with your program advisor who'll share you the entire details. It's going to be an entire PDF that shows you the mentors who'd be training you during the sessions. So I think Akram's question is answered. I'll quickly come back to the slide and then get back to the chat again. This is the program structure, people. When you speak about the program structure, there's a flow that we maintain, right? A lot of you might have a question that, okay, I want to go ahead with data science. I would want to become a data analyst, but I don't have a background. What are you expecting out from me? We're expecting nothing. You can come with a higher national diploma, you can come with a bachelor's in any other domain, but you need to be a graduate to take up or to pursue a postgraduate course, right? Now we understand in a lot of countries, graduation means different, right? So you can come with a diploma, a 3 years diploma is accepted, an advanced diploma is accepted, a bachelor's degree is accepted. And we start with module zero, which is pre work. Now, pre work for you is the prerequisites. Let's say, for example, when we started our school back in the day, I'm sure you recall, we started playing first, we got along, then we learned ABCD, and then we learned the numerical digits, and then so on and so forth, right? So the same thing goes here. We are going to feed the pre-work to your brains so that you understand the basics, you understand what is Python foundation, what's Python in the first place. Then we take you to the statistical level of data understanding, interpretation, ensembling, and all of that step by step. And while you do all of this, you must be noticing down there something called self paced modules. So these self paced modules are the ones that you learn yourself between the weekday sessions, the pre recorded sessions, right? I'll also take you through what the self paced modules look like. So we'll just quickly go to the next slide. These are the self-paced modules. So if you see the topics, demystifying chat gpt. Now a lot of you again might be thinking, what's chat gpt doing here? So chat gpt is that particular ai interface which links data science to ai, right? Let's say, for example, if you're writing a question and sharing it with chat gpt, you expect an answer, right? You expect an answer that's most possibly accurate, very much, with respect to pointers, paragraphs. So it does take the data in consideration that's available and then gives you the answer. That's where relatively data science and artificial intelligence meet each other to give you the answer that you're looking for. So yes, we take you through chat gpt because it's currently the most important trend. We take you through time series forecasting. A lot of you who studied economics, who studied mathematics or statistics in your backgrounds will already know what time series forecasting is. Then we take you through retail analytics, market analytics, so that you understand in the market and the industry what's important, what's trending, what's going on, which is the direction that you should be taking to benefit better. And the same goes ahead with data visualization, finance and risk, and web and social media, right? Uh, we'll go to the next slide, Saurabh. Perfect. So, vision. Okay, let it be like this. What's your idea of vision? To everyone who's listening, what's your idea of vision? What do you mean by vision? What is the importance of vision for all of you? I think I'll wait for at least the first five answers and then we'll take it ahead from my side. Okay, a picture of a preferred future. Fantastic. That's the ideal answer, I guess. That is what I would agree to. What about others? I think this comes from Victor, where you're aiming to get to. Yes, the destination is the vision. Absolutely. You picturize your destination. Perfect. Thanks, Arthur. Come on. I think there can be more answers with more perspectives. What's vision? Seeing tomorrow from now? Yes. Standing at the present and looking at your future. That's exactly what vision is. Desired outcomes? Yes. Um, Goal picture to achieve destination, ultimate objective, destination. Okay, perfect. So I think I got the answers from all of you. We'll take a quick pause and again, all of us focused on the slide. So, data science and business analytics, what's the vision here? We'll go from the down level to the top, right? Just like the flowchart suggests. So, it's your basics of mathematical concepts and foundations that you already have, and you're coming with, all of that to university for the training purpose. Then there comes the problem solving and interpretations. On a day to day basis, how do you solve problems? The same thing happens in data. You have an issue, you look into the data, you use Excel, you use Python, you use SQL, you use pie charts. You're trying to interpret things, make a sense out of it. That's what problem solving and interpretations is. Industry perspective. Some of you are coming from hotel industry, some of you from the IT intelligence or telecom intelligence, a lot of you from operations of a bank, right? Now everybody has a separate industry perspective. Whenever we take a decision after looking at the data, that decision has to be in the same lines of your industry. So these are the three foundations. Now, while you put all these three together, the next level that we achieve is the techniques and the algorithms. That's what we mean when we say that, okay, we are going to train you on Python and SQL as data analytics tools, and we are going to train you on Tableau Public as a data visualization tool. And along with that, you need to have a future focused professional skill or skills that, okay, this is where I want to reach after doing this 7 months postgraduate course from a university which is globally accredited, from a university whose program is globally accepted for both educational and professional perspective. What is the goal that you want to reach? Do you want a designation change? Do you just want the finances to get better, or do you also want to take a growth and move ahead, maybe change the industry as well altogether? So that's what vision is for all of you. And I'm sure while you make an inquiry and fill up the application, this vision should be there within you, the intent should be there within you, and the rest things the program advisor will take care of to give you the direction and take you ahead step by step, holding your hands, right? Okay, we'll go to the next step. Let me show you how we'll take you ahead step by step, hand in hand. We'll go to the next slide. Okay, so this is how the certificate looks like. A lot of you have a question, right? That how would I receive my documentation? How does the certificate looks like? So we've used a dummy name here, right? You can see on the right hand side of your screens that this is exactly what would be offered to you post successful completion of the course, right? We would be mentioning the business school's name, that's the sub school for you. We'd be mentioning the name of the university and the course along with your name. And then you'd find a tiny QR code, an authentication code in the bottom right hand side of your certificate, so that there is a clarity, a transparency that whenever somebody, just takes a quick scan of the same, they would be redirected to the university website wherein the same certificate issued to you will be visible, right? That's the level of transparency that we're trying to maintain here, and we're trying to keep it very visible on your certificate, right? I think that's all with this slide. We'll go to the next one so that I can show you through what the process looks like. Perfect, perfect. So this is how the application form, the entire process looks like, right? The first step, you fill up the application form. I think it has already been shared once in the chat window, but just to make things easier for all of you, there you go. I've just reshared it once again. This is the application form. Now, once all of you fill it up, I think all of you guys can go fill it up later on, but do hear me out. Once you fill it up, you go ahead, make an inquiry, fill up the application. You will receive a call from your designated program advisors, right? There would be a shortlisting, there would be a panel review to understand how strong is your intent, what's the purpose that you're coming with. Then comes the interview and screening, and then you get the admission offer. So it's a four step process from here. The application deadline, when you click on the applications, you will be able to see the deadlines, right, as per your geographies and locations. Please ensure that you fill up the application as soon as possible so that you're able to have the discussion and the decision making process happens accordingly. You get time to make the decision after having a word with your program advisor, right? Okay, any questions? I think I'll first again get back to the chat. And any questions so far? I think I've given you the overview. I've given you the basic understanding. Any questions so far before I go to the last slide of the day? Can the interview be online? Absolutely. Absolutely, Gertrude. The interview is going to be online. About the fees, see, the fees is tentative side. It depends a lot. After going through the entire process, you might have a certain waive off which is given to you on the strength of your application. So I think that's subjective. I think you would have to go ahead with the screening process first to understand eventually what would be the final fee payable. Any more questions, please? Where's the application form? Okay, I've just shared it. I can reshare it to you once again, Daniela. The same thing. Yeah. Isoha, I've just shared the application form with you on the chat box. Any other questions, please? Okay. piece, what you should be expecting, you should be expecting, see, as per the industry standards, you would be getting all the skills here with respect to the same. And like I said about the cost implication, it's your program advisor who'd be taking you through on the basis of your intent, on the basis of your screening scores. Scholarships, hey Pauline, good to hear. uh, I would not use the word scholarship here because it's a postgraduate course for working professionals, but you do get certain waivers, which means certain part of the fee can be reduced on the basis of the qualifications that you come with. Okay, I think that would be it. So, okay, Saurabh, let's go to the last slide for the day so that we can have their doubts answered. So, to all of you, what does a collaboration mean? I think some of them will be saying joining hands, some of them will be saying a tie up, some of them will say a memorandum of understanding between two institutions. So, just to give you a perspective, who is Great Learning and how is Great Learning involved with UT Austin, University of Texas at Austin? Great Learning happens to be the delivery partner, which means we're taking care of the entire operations process right from beginning to the end, right? The mentored learning process is taken care by us. The system, the learning management system, your place of learning the entire course, the user interface, that's taken care by Great Learning. You'd be assigned with a program manager immediately after you get enrolled to the course in the first 4 to 5 business days, wherein the program manager is going to be your point of contact, your direct point of contact for any administrative questions specifically, and also for your educational queries, right? The turnaround time for the program manager for Revert is 24 to 48 hours. So that's pretty much how the program manager would be there with you during the entire 7 months of the course. And then the same goes with academic support. So I think that's great learning for all of you. Uh, and obviously about University of Texas at Austin, they are the academic partners, the curriculum, the content, the video lectures, the projects, the case studies. So basically, whatever the course entails, right from the beginning to the end, until the certificate of completion, the entire academic process, the entire content, the method of learning, everything is taken care and designed by University of Texas at Austin. So I think that's a fine line of difference. A lot of you might be thinking that, okay, what is it? I think you all get the clarity now. And it's an online program. I think I got a question from Olukoga. So it's an online program. You would want the form again. There you go. I think there's. So, Frederick, I think good question out there. Do you have any separate conveniences for developing countries? I think I would not term it as a developing country or a developed country, as long as you are eligible to take up the course and as long as you are meeting the basic requirements in terms of personal, educational, professional terms, automatically you will be eligible to take up the waiver. It's not specific to certain countries there. And there's no accommodation, Gertrude's, because the course is strictly online. So I think that would be it. I think I had a fantastic session. I would like to know from all of you, how was the session? I hope you found it entertaining. Are you? I hope you found it informative enough. Awaiting replies, awaiting your positive responses, awaiting any feedbacks that you might have. Very informative. Okay, thanks a lot once again. I think that would be it from my end. Have a great day. Have a great day from my side, all of you.